Hi all, this is Vidya. Hope you all are doing good. So today we will going to start a new chapter, that is forms of market. But before that we will understand first what is market. Now you tell me children, what is market for you all? So you will say that ma'am, market is assumed to be a place where goods are bought and sold. Like near my home, you will say that I have a vegetable market. Some will say I have a fish market. I have a grocery shop. These are all the markets for you all. But children, this is a incomplete answer. That means in economics, the term market has a special meaning. That means market does not refer to any particular place. Don't associate market with any commodity or with the place. Rather, market is a system, you can say, arrangement you can say, or mechanism you can say, through which buyers and sellers come into contact with each other. This word is important. Buyers and sellers come into contact with each other to buy and sell goods at mutually agreed prices. That means I said that market is a system through which buyers and sellers come into contact. System could be of electronic mail, could be of telephonic communication, could be online mode, anything. So that is only the market. Market can be physically also, that means face to face I can do the market, or it can be virtually also. By sitting at home I can place the order, because in today's world of internet we have rapidly growing online market which is not limited to any particular area. For example, Myntra, Flipkart, this is rapidly growing online market. Now Myntra is a specific in a limited area? No, Myntra is everywhere. So you can, sitting at home, you can place an order. For example, you can place an order of the shoes. In Myntra you went, or in the Flipkart you can choose any mode, and there you have ordered one shoes, selecting the size, quantity, shape, everything, and you paid the price. So what happens? It is a system, I can say, through which buyers and sellers come into contact with each other and settle the sale and purchase of goods. That is the market. Clear children? So I hope it is clear. That means market does not refer to any limited area, because we have the internet online today which is rapidly growing. So we can say Myntra, Flipkart, Amazon, these all are the online business which is rapidly growing and which is not limited to any particular area. So this is the market. Market can be physically or virtually. So I hope it is clear. Now you see the definition. It is a mechanism or the arrangement through which buyers and sellers come into contact with each other and buy or sell goods at mutually agreed prices. So buyers and sellers must come into contact with each other for a market to exist. Clear children? This is the market. So now children, we will understand the different forms of market structure. In different forms of market structure, you can see that there are two types of market. First is the perfect market and second is the imperfect market. Imperfect market has categorized into three types: monopoly, monopolistic, and oligopoly. So imperfect market is not in the syllabus, so we will not revise it. We will only focus in the perfect market. So let's understand the perfect market here. So now children, we will understand the perfect competition market. In perfect competition market, we can say that it is a type of market where you will get the large number of buyers and large number of sellers. Sellers are selling the homogeneous product. That means homogeneous means similar type of goods they are selling at a fixed price. That means every seller has to sell the product at a fixed price. And who is determining the prices? That means fixed price. Who is determining? Do the seller determine the price? No. Here in perfect competition, every seller is a price taker. No firm can decide the price of their own. Prices are determined by the market forces of the demand and supply. So let's see the definition. It is a type of market, children, in which you will get the large number of buyers also and sellers who are selling the homogeneous, you can say, or the similar type of goods at a fixed price which is determined by the industry. Industry means a group of firms who are selling the similar type of goods known as the industry. That means industry is this one, and the part of this is the what? Firm. So we say this is the industry and the part of it is the firm. So we say that group of firm is known as the industry. And every seller is selling the homogeneous product. That means similar type of goods they are selling at a fixed price which is determined by the market forces of demand and supply. No seller can influence the market price. That means no seller can change the price. Whatever the prices are fixed by the market forces, they have to take that price and sell their product. Now you see, This is the demand curve. DT is the demand curve, which is downward sloping curve, and SS is the supply curve, which is upward sloping, is not it? So you see, where demand and supply meets together, we say prices are fixed at that point. So P is the price which is fixed here. OP is the price, and we can say OQ is the quantity. Now suppose 3000, suppose the prices is fixed at rupees 3000. So every seller has to sell the product at rupees 3000, which is fixed by the market forces of demand and supply. I hope this concept is clear. Now children, the closest example of the perfect competition market, where it is saying that every seller is selling the homogeneous product. That means every seller is selling the same type of goods. So this type of market, closest example is the agricultural goods, as because this market does not exist in the real world. Why so? Because they are saying that every seller is selling same type of goods. So is it possible? For example, suppose near my home there are the 10 shops of the mobile phones, and every shopkeeper, every shop, if you go one shop, two shop, second, third shop, wherever you go, 10 shops, so you will find the same model, same design, same color, same features, everything in 10 shops. But you don't want this type of mobile, you want a different brand. But in near your home, you are getting only this model. 10 shops, this model only you are getting. So is it possible in this real world? No. For that reason, we say it is a hypothetical market. Perfect competition does not exist in this real world. It is a hypothetical market where we are assuming that this type of market is also there. So closest example I told that agricultural goods, where I can take wheat, rice or corn you can take. Clear? So wheat, every farmer grow wheat, suppose I am taking. So now you understand with the help of an example. This is a grain market. We say Anaj Mandi, grain market. In the grain market, what happens when the farmer grows the crop? They directly come and sell into this market. So there are many sellers who are sitting here to purchase the crop from them. So every seller is purchasing the same type of product, that is homogeneous product, wheat they are purchasing. Now they have to sell this wheat. That means when sellers are purchasing, they will sell directly to the customers. Clear? And they will set, suppose this firm A, firm B, and this is the firm C. Now every firm will sell the wheat at the fixed price determined by the market forces of demand and supply rupees, that is I have assumed 3000. Clear children? So every firm has to sell only at this prices. Suppose this firm A tries to raise the price. So what happened? Other firms who are selling the identical product, that means same type of product which they are selling, what happened? The buyers will shift from firm A to firm B. He will not purchase from firm A. Suppose he raises the price of rupees 4000 and firm A is selling at rupees 3000 only. So what you will do as a buyer? Would you like to buy from firm A? No, obviously no, as because he is charging the highest amount. So you will shift from firm A to firm B because he is taking the fixed price which is determined by the market forces. Clear children? So for that reason, what happens? The firm A demand will decrease, and thereby it will he is forced to come into the line again with the determined price of the market. Clear children? For that reason, no firm can raise the price. Suppose there are 5 lakh sellers are there, and if one seller wants to raise the price, increase the price, so other sellers are saying we won't increase the price. So what happens? His part is so negligible that whether if he raise the price, whether he just sell the quantity or not, it won't affect the market price. Same thing, if some buyers are saying that I will purchase 10 sack of rice from you, 10 sack of wheat from you, you give me at rupees 2500, so no seller can sell at that price. He will say whether you purchase 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, whatever you purchase, you have to pay the payment of rupees 3000. So this is the market where I have taken the closest. This is the exact, you can say, substitutes of each other. Clear children? Because wheat can be sold by the farmer on the basis of the taste, color, everything it is same. Clear? So this is the perfect competition market where you will get the many sellers and buyers who sellers are selling the homogeneous product at a fixed price determined by the market forces of demand and supply. So no seller can influence the market price and no buyers also can influence the market price. So he has to sell at the fixed price. Clear children? So this is the perfect competition. Now we will discuss the features of the perfect competition. So now children, we will understand the features of the perfect competition market. First feature is the very large number of buyers and sellers. Under this competition market, there will always be a large number of buyers and sellers. The number of buyers, children, there are so many that a single buyer, I'm talking about, a single buyer buy only a small part of the total output. So he buys, suppose I am a single buyer, so I buy only a small part of the total output. So any change in the quantity demanded by him or her has a negligible impact on the market price also and the supply also, because I am the single buyer. So there will be no influence on the market price. I cannot influence the market price and supply. Similarly, single seller also supplies the small part of the total output. So what happens? Any firm under perfect competition cannot influence the market price by changing or by increasing or decreasing the quantity of the goods produced. Suppose a single firm tries to raise the price. What happens? There are the other sellers who are selling the identical product at the lower price. So what happens? The demand for that particular firm decreases, thereby forcing it to come in the line again with the industry determined prices. So no firm can influence the market price because they are the price taker, not the price maker. Clear one point? Second point is the homogeneous product. That means homogeneous means similar product. So the products which are offered by the different firms are identical in every respect. So the buyer cannot choose any good of one firm over the good of the another. That means the goods are the identical in every respect in terms of taste, size, shape, etc. So they are close substitutes for each other. So no buyer cannot choose any good of one seller over the another. So for that reason, the price of the product is constant throughout the market. Free entry and exit. Free entry and exit means that every firm can come into the market and or exit from the market at any point of time. So there is no obstruction from anywhere for a new firm to produce the same product produced by the existing firm. So for that reason, they can also free to exit from the market. So now we will discuss the fourth point, that is firm is a price taker, which implies that every firm must accept the equilibrium price which is determined by the market forces of demand and supply to sell the goods. In perfect competition, children, what happens? There are numerous buyers and sellers are selling the same type of product, that means identical product. So a single seller sells only a small part of the total output. So it has no control over the price because he is selling only a small part. Suppose if a single seller wants to increase or decrease the quantity in its own supply, if he wants to increase or decrease the price or the quantity, it has negligible effect on the market price and the market supply because he is selling small part of its total output. So for this reason, they are the price taker, not the price maker. Clear? Perfect knowledge. Every buyer and seller must have the perfect knowledge or full knowledge about the price prevailing in the market. No seller can charge different price and no buyer will pay the higher price. So for this reason, uniform price prevails in the market. Perfect mobility of factors. Factors, I can say here, labor, capital. Mobility means movement, free movement. So factors like labor can freely move into the industry or out of the industry. Laborers can freely move from one firm to another firm. So this reason, so there should be a proper balance between the demand and supply of a commodity. Clear, children? So there is a perfect mobility. That means capital also can freely move from one firm to another. Labor can also freely move. So there should be a proper balance between the demand and supply of a commodity. No selling cost. In this perfect competition, children, selling cost is not required because of the assumption of the homogeneous goods and the perfect knowledge. That means if the people have the perfect knowledge about the product, so no seller finds to do the advertisement. No seller will do the advertisement. Why? Because they have the perfect knowledge about the product, about the price. So the seller does not find it necessary to educate consumers through the advertisement. Clear? And about the homogeneous goods, like if all the goods are same in nature, quality, shape, taste, etc. So there is no need to do the advertisement. So no seller will find it any necessary to do the advertisement, as because rival firms are also selling the same type of product. So it does not find any basis to just do the advertisement. Shape of demand curve. Children, we have seen that shape of the demand curve. So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Clear? And shape of the demand curve is the horizontal straight line. This is the price and this is the quantity. So I can say that shape of the demand curve is a horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis, which is perfectly elastic. We say that under perfect competition, the demand curve for the firm is horizontal and perfectly elastic, which means that firm can sell any amount of the quantity at the fixed price, which is determined by the market forces. This is the demand curve and this is the supply. So it is determined by the market forces of demand and supply. You can say prices is fixed. So I can say that firm can sell any quantity at the prevailing price. Clear, children? That means which is determined by the market forces of demand and supply. But firm cannot vary the price. So firm has to sell any quantity at a price determined by the market forces of demand and supply. So you know that AR, we say average revenue, that is only the price. Clear? Average revenue is equals to demand. Clear? That is the demand. Clear now? I think so. Features of perfect competition is clear to you all.